Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Divine Feminine Healers Podcast. It is your host, Angelica. I am an intuitive healer and a spiritual business owner. And today's episode, we are going to get into quick and easy tips so you can start connecting with your spirit guides, because it's super fun to do this and it really helps you to connect to your intuitive gifts. Now, before we get into that, I do want to do a brief energy update. I'm going to do a full energy update in our episode next week around the full moon. But because there's so much turbulence happening right now and chaos, if you will, which will continue throughout this month of July and through August, a lot of this fiery, sudden type of energy. Part of this is due to this conjunction between Mars and Uranus, and it can feel very unstable. And especially if you're highly sensitive and a healer, it's easy to pick up on these energies, right? Because we're so sensitive to them. And now more than ever, it's so important to maintain your practice of inner peace. If you have followed the yogic path or holistic path or a spiritual path, you know that this is the way. It's the middle way. Realizing that in our external world, most of the time, we cannot control what happens. And the only thing that we can control is our inner experience. So the more work that you do during this time to maintain your inner peace, as difficult as may be, that is going to bring the most ease and flow throughout this turbulent time. Now, I know how difficult that is to find the inner peace in the storm of a chaos. And that's why it's so great to have these practices built into our life so that it's really easy to fall back on these. And that's why I also love the yogic practice, because it helps you to maintain in a state of observation. It's like when you're meditating, right? You don't latch on to all the crazy thoughts that you're suddenly aware of that are happening all the time in your head, but you're able to take 10 steps back and just observe them passing by, and nothing needs to be done, nothing needs to be said. You're just in observation mode. And so if you think of that like your life, if you were watching your life as a movie, being in the state of observation rather than latching on to these situations, these events that are happening before us, that's when we can maintain the clarity and continuously moving forward in our life. Otherwise, we can get easily wrapped up into the chaos, and it can throw us off kilter. So as hard as it may be, I hope you find your inner peace during this time. There'll be more to come on that. And also sign up for my newsletter. I do an energy update every Tuesday morning. I send that out and I give you spiritual practices to do with the current energy, affirmations, and a lot of tips for your spiritual business. You can sign up with that with the link in the show notes. Okay, now for today's episode. So when you are first starting to connect to your spiritual practices, I know for myself, I was like, oh my gosh, there's spirit guides. There are people who are watching out for me that I can't see, but I can somehow start a conversation with and have communication with them. That is incredible. Sign me up. So what are spirit guides? There's so many different ways that you can express these entities. I think we can call them our ancestors, the people that have passed away that are really close to us, that we may have met in this lifetime, that we may have not have met. I believe that they are part of our spirit guides. They are watching down on us. We are part of a soul family, and they want to help us on this earth because we're part of the same family. So them helping us helps to help our whole family move forward and to heal ancestral lineages, break generational traumas, and grow and evolve as a race. I also believe that spirit guides are angels. These are entities that come from a higher vibration that may have graduated from a human body long time ago. And now they are looking down on you and probably multiple other people because their vibration is so high. They're able to offer an infinite amount of wisdom and energy and love and healing to a greater amount of people. So I believe that each of us kind of has like our own little spirit team looking down on us. And while I'm not too keen on specifying who's coming through and whose guide is what and identifying them, in the beginning, it's just important to know what messages that you're getting. I know it can feel really curious to know, like, whose message is that from, especially if you've lost a loved one and you want to know. Well, there's certain ways to communicate with certain guides. For the majority, the purpose of it all really is for you just to get that divine message and to know how to grow and evolve yourself. So who it comes from, does it really matter? That's up to you. So how can we connect with this spirit team? So even though we want to communicate with our spirit team, we also have to realize that they're on a different vibration. They're on a different plane now. So having a normal conversation as if we're talking to them and face to face is not necessarily how they're going to communicate back to us. However, there's certain ways that we can communicate with them in a clearer way. Often our guides will speak to us in metaphors and symbols. That's the clearest way that we can open up a streamline of communication. So symbols, they also speak through animals, angel numbers, dreams, songs that are played on the radio. It's a very sentient way in which our spirit team can communicate with us. Meaning, when we tune into our intuition, to our part of our experience that we not necessarily can see, but we can feel, we can know, we can sense, we can see through our third eye. That is how our spirit team can communicate with us. So the more that you can strengthen your intuitive gifts, the easier you can communicate with them. Now, in the beginning, when you may feel like it's hard to trust your intuitive gifts, there are certain tips that you can follow to start communicating with your guides. One of my favorite tips ever to give is to ask your guides for a specific sign when you are in alignment, or just to show you when you're on the right path. This could literally be anything. It could be a specific angel number, like as specific as you want to get. It can be a certain type of flower, down to the color and the species. It could be a symbol like a rainbow, or a mountain, or a crown. It could be a song on the radio, or just a song in general that plays, and then you know that you are in alignment. Whatever that symbol is for you that really represents you, could also be an animal like a butterfly or a specific type of bird. That can be a way that your guides communicate with you, so that you know, whoa, it is not just me here on this planet Earth trying to heal and trying to grow and evolve, but there is a whole team behind me. It reminds you of the magic. When you receive these symbols too, like it doesn't happen because you were searching for it. It happens out of the blue, and the moment when you least expect it, and chills run up and down your spine. You may start laughing. You can just feel it in your heart that that message was specifically for you, and there's truly no greater feeling. So if you haven't already done this yet with your spirit team, this is the best way to connect with them, is to communicate them through a symbol. And then the more you start to work with these symbols, you can actually have certain symbols for different things. Certain numbers can mean certain things. Certain animals are also going to send you different types of messages. So each of these symbols holds its own vibration. For example, a lot of times our spirit team will communicate through birds. You hear this often, especially when ancestors have passed. They often send cardinals. Why? Because birds are really easy to direct their attention because they have a short attention span. So it's easy for them to be like, okay, we're going to send this message to you. Now, each animal has its own specific message and meaning. Cardinals, a lot of times, are associated with ancestors that have passed, and they also can mean that it's time for you to ground, it's time for you to set your roots and your foundations, to kind of get things organized and in order and connect back to your body. Why? Because red is associated with the root chakra and is translated to the messages that I just shared. So what's so beautiful about this way of communicating with your spirit team is that it doesn't just end after one conversation. It is a continuously growing relationship that you can build with them that can get so specific that you may feel like you're having an everyday conversation with them. So the more that you can lean into your intuitive gifts and these signs and symbols, it can open up a whole conversation and help to guide you on your path. So for example, I first started out by just having these symbols sent to me and it felt so great. And then I wanted greater clarity on my journey. So many times I would come up in these forks in the road where I'm like, oh gosh, there's two different ways that I could take right now. I don't know which one is for my greatest and highest good. And the more that I was able to tune into my spirit guides and have this constant conversation, now it becomes crystal clear. I know what their messages are saying, and it's so much easier for me to make these decisions. And it feels so empowering because so often, when we want to choose what is right and best for us, a lot of times our ego can get in the way. So I remember last year I was calling in this new opportunity and the opportunity came in. It was actually perfect and exactly what I asked for, but there was a feeling in my stomach that was like heavy and felt a little sick. So this is tricky because so often we feel this feeling and we think, oh, this must mean that I'm not supposed to take this opportunity. This is not right for me. There's something in my body that's saying something is off. When in reality, that was my ego saying, I'm really scared right now because a part of me is going to have to die and let go, and I'm going to have to step into this new identity. And I'm so happy that I had my guides sending me my signs and my symbols along the way, nudging me in that right direction to take the opportunity, because when I did, it was exactly what I was looking for. So these signs and symbols can be so important. And it's why whenever my clients are about to sign up for my membership or my certification program, if they're unsure, I always tell them to do this exercise because it'll become crystal clear if that is their next step. So for example, if you are wanting to go more into this direction of becoming an intuitive healer and you want to get your certification, ask your guides to send you a very specific message. You can get as specific as you want, like a blue butterfly or a pink heart, like literally whatever it is. And if this is the next best choice for you, then your guides will send you that symbol and it'll come in the most serendipitous way if it was really meant for you. So trying this practice, I'm so excited for you. And if you're wanting to sharpen your gifts even more, you're ready to have conversations with your guides and take it to the next level, my online Reiki 1 and 2 certification program is officially in August. This is a program where you'll be able to become a certified energy healer and start charging for your gifts as an energy healer. Now, whether you have started your spiritual business already and want to add Reiki as a modality, or you are just starting your healing business, this is the perfect certification program for you. I've had clients from both ends. And by the end of the certification program, you will be able to start doing your own energy healing sessions and using Reiki. Not only, you'll also have a very spiritual practice for yourself to communicate with your guides and to start strengthening your intuitive gifts so that you can receive more spiritual messages. So if you're interested in joining, I keep this group super intimate to make sure that everyone gets the one-on-one attention they need for their gifts and their business. You can send me a DM at Angelica_feminine_healer, and I will send you a very short video explaining what the certification program entails. All right, everyone, I will see you next week. We'll do a full energy update. I hope you all find your inner peace these next few months. I know there's a lot of chaos happening, but you got this. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you next time.